What's up, guys? Glowstick Gary here, and welcome to the 1-year anniversary Q&A. We've going to be answering some questions that you guys ask and some other questions from the internet. Starting with Cappy Beret. What is your inspiration and passion to be a YouTuber? By the way, love the name. I'm a hat person myself, so a little fun fact for you. My inspiration and passion to be a YouTuber is probably based off of like Game Grumps. I like how you can click into any one of their videos and it's just like sitting down, hanging out with the guys, playing some games and just having a good time. It's really all I want to do is just kind of play games that I like or that I'm interested in, share that experience with you guys, and just, chill, have a good time. Maybe get a little goofy with it sometimes, do something crazy, just whatever. So yeah, that's why I started this whole thing. Is just I like it. It's fun playing games. I like making the videos, and it's a good time. So now we got some more questions here. By the way, I'm not doing this video like my other playthroughs where I record while I'm playing the game. I tried doing that for this Q&A earlier, and it was a disaster. So what you're seeing in the background now of me playing Super Metroid, I actually recorded separately so that I wouldn't have to think about what I'm doing in the game and these questions at the same time. So just keep that in mind if it looks a little weird. Alright, so first question. How did you come up with the name for your channel? Well, it's pretty simple actually. I used the name Gary in a lot of my tags, and Glowstick Gary was the catchiest thing I could think of that was easy to portray. I could make the little kind of glowy in the dark logos and stuff like that. Was kind of fun, and I just thought it was a good fit for the channel. I actually did a channel with a buddy of mine prior that doesn't exist anymore called Chip and Disc Gamers, and it was really hard to kind of explain that channel to people, like the name of it. Like we had people calling it Chips and Dip, and they would spell disc differently than the way we had it, and it was just a whole mess. Glowstick Gary, you say that in conversation, it makes it easy to, it's just a good fit for my name with, a little additional flair to it, I guess. What type of content do you plan to create on your channel? Well, Let's Plays. There's lots of games that I like playing, retro games, VR games, PC, console, you name it, I like playing them. Some of these, a lot of people don't get to experience on their own, especially like VR, or just certain games that just people never heard of, and I've never heard of, and I like going through and playing them. Some of them, ones that I'm experienced with, some of them not. So, anything and everything video game. How do you plan to engage and connect with your audience? Well, I really don't have a game plan. Doing these Q&A things, planning on doing them on the anniversaries, just so you guys have any questions, comments, things you want to know about the channel or whatever, or me, we can do them here. I'm not going to say anything personal because I don't really want anyone to know who I am. Not that closely anyways. But I try to reply to everyone's comments whenever they comment on one of my videos. It doesn't always work out. I don't always have the time. Like, there's a few comments that I haven't replied to, and I felt kind of bad about it actually, but like after they've been sitting up there for a couple of weeks, I'm like, well, if I reply now, then I don't know, it's just one of those things. I feel bad. It's like replying to a text message 2 weeks later, like sorry I missed you, I was busy. It's just, I try to talk to people on the comments as much as possible, and that's really about it. Next question. What challenges have you faced so far as a new YouTuber? Everything. From learning to explain what I'm doing through my videos, and editing. Those are the two major things that I've been having issues with. Like, going back to how, like, Game Grumps inspired me a lot. There's two people who do that show that communicate between each other constantly while they're playing. And it's only me. I don't have anyone to, conversate with. So it kind of is up to me to kind of talk through what I'm doing, especially if it's a challenge playthrough, what my strategy is, what I'm thinking about certain things that are going on in the game that I think are weird or goofy or just crazy or whatever. And then the editing just takes so much time, and you want to make everything kind of flow really well without missing any of the key points of what's happening in the game. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot to do it. And that's the main things that the main two things that I've faced so far. What strategies are you using to grow your channel and gain subscribers? I'm just putting up content. Like, there's not any special formula that I'm using, like what games people are playing or whatever. I just kind of pick games that I'm interested in, that I have fun playing, or that I have interest in playing. I play them, put them up, and that's it. Now, there are some videos of games that I have taken down for various reasons. Either because I just didn't think they were good enough, I guess. They're not really matching with what I'm trying to do with the channel. And most of them are the ones I did early on, and I just really didn't have a good idea of what I was doing. Some of them I left in there just because they're part of a longer storyline, like Resident Evil 4 VR. Started when I was just started the channel. So the first few episodes are kind of whatever, because I didn't really know what I was doing as far as what I needed to be talking about, how I need to edit it. But later on, after I kind of caught on to the flow of things, it changes as it progresses. That's about it. I just do what I'm doing and just let it go. I'm not really in it to win it, I guess. I do this as a hobby. It's something I enjoy, and something that I just hope other people will enjoy. How do you handle negative comments or criticism on your videos? Take everything with a grain of salt. So, if anybody said anything abrupt or just downright just abusive, I usually remove that from the comment section. But if it's some criticism about how the video was done or whatever, if it's relevant, or if I think it's relevant, I try to adjust my videos for it, because people's feedback is important. And that's an important thing to take in, even if it's something negative, like, oh, well, I couldn't hear you halfway through this video because there was too much sound coming from the game or something like that. That stuff's important, because it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe the way I'm listening to it through a certain kind of headphones, I can hear it well, and when you're watching it on your phone, you can't, It's all good information for the most part, unless someone's just trolling you. It's all good to just kind of take in as, how can I make things better? Or at least that's the way I handle it. What advice would you give to other new YouTubers just starting out? Since this is the second channel that I've actually done, the first thing I would do is make sure you have a good name that people can tell other people about easily. Like I was saying earlier with the Glowstick Gary, it's really easy. You say something about that to somebody, it's something that's catchy and they can remember. It's not very convoluted or confusing. Take Jacksepticeye, for example. When people would say that to me, instead of saying Jacksepticeye, they were like, Jacksepticeye. And I'm like, well, what is that? I don't even know how to look that up, because it just sounded weird. So I didn't even know how to look him up for the longest time and didn't really care. Love the guy to death now, but, it's just one of those initial things. Secondly, make sure you have all of your I's dotted and your T's crossed. Do some setup videos. do some trial runs on seeing what's the best settings for your recording, where people can hear you, your video feed. There's so many different options and ways to do things that it takes a lot. It takes a lot of setup. And it's real important to be able to make a video that you can understand what you're saying and it's not too loud and all that kind of stuff. And get used to do a lot of playing around with your editing software, because that's what a lot of people watch YouTube for, are for edited videos of things, not just the run-of-the-mill, well, this is me playing from start to finish. Like, it's got some editing to it to take out downtime or whatever. How do you differentiate yourself and stand out among other YouTubers in your niche? I really don't have anything in particular that I do, I guess, differently than anyone else. Other than not having video cam, because I just don't want to deal with the hassle of an extra asset to deal with when making the videos. Plus, I don't really want people to know what I look like. There's a certain level of, if you get popular, people know who you are, could lead to bad things. Not necessarily because I'm a bad person, just some people are weird. I've had stalkers in real life, and I'm not any different than any other person, and I don't need any extra drama in my life, basically. But as far as differentiating myself from other YouTubers, I don't have much. I mean, it's just me. That's it. That's the only thing that's different. What equipment and software do you use to record and edit your videos? Oh boy. Okay, so I did actually write this down so that I'd be able to respond to this easily. So right now I'm using OBS for my video capture and Audacity for my audio capture. I record my microphone audio with Audacity and then the video feed and audio separately with OBS. That way I can overlap them together in the editing software. So if the game starts getting loud, I can kind of cut the volume back and you can still hear what I'm saying. And I go up and down in my voice all the time, so it just helps. As far as capturing the video, I use EVGA XR1 Lite capture card. For console games, or what I'm doing right now, I've got an XDM100 Pro dynamic USB gaming mic from Rode that I use. And when I'm doing VR games on my MetaQuest 2 headset, I have a VJZFA lavalier microphone that I use for that, so that I have video feed and audio feed are on separate channels for that one as well. And then for editing, I use Pinnacle Studio, whatever the latest one is. And then for my thumbnails and stuff, I just use Paint 3D and Coral Studio to kind of together to make those. Next question. How do you stay motivated and consistent with uploading new content? Well, I just play games that I want to play. And that's really about it. Like, if there's a game that I'm interested in, or that looks fun or interesting, or that somebody's told me about, then I play that and I upload it. That's really about it. What are your short-term and long-term goals for your YouTube channel? Well, I mean, really, I've already achieved my short-term goal, which was to get 100 subscribers. And my long-term goal, I guess, it would be nice to be able to monetize. I think you have to have like 1,000 subscribers and a bunch of other nonsense. But just to be able to make a little bit of the money back that I've put into equipment and time would be great. But I'm not really looking to become like the next, big channel. I just do this as a hobby, do it because I enjoy doing it, and that's really about it. I'm not really in it to become some huge star, I guess. Have you experienced any memorable or funny moments while filming or editing your videos? The funniest thing I think that I've ever come across is when I was playing American Truck Simulator for the first episode and I was trying to park the trailer. I was laughing so hard at myself when I was editing that video, and like it was really hard because I was trying to cut down some of the downtime and just hit the highlights, because I don't know, I think there's like maybe 5 minutes of footage that I put up on the video of me trying to park that thing, but it actually took me like 15 minutes to do it or longer, and it was just so funny, the whole thing. But yeah, that's probably my favorite moment so far. All right, next question. How do you engage with your audience and encourage them to interact with your content? I really don't have any necessarily any type of engagement. I try to talk to people in the comments, and planning on doing this Q&A thing every year on the anniversary of the channel. But outside of that, I don't really have any direct thing to interact with you guys, and I don't really know how I would do that either, other than talking to you guys in the comments. But maybe in the future sometime. I haven't really made it that far yet. What are your favorite resources and sources of inspiration for new video ideas? Google. I just look up games that would look like they'd be of interest to me, or games that look like they would be challenging, or games that I've never got to experience from the retro days that, I just missed out on, or whatever. All kinds of resources for looking up games to play. How do you collaborate with other YouTubers or creators in your niche? I don't communicate with any other YouTubers or creators in my niche. I don't know if I should. I wouldn't really know how to go about doing that, even if I wanted to. Maybe it'll be something I do in the future, but as of right now, it's just not something that I'm really interested in doing at the moment. What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned from your early experiences on YouTube? The biggest things that I have learned is kind of how to cut downtime out of a video. Through watching some of my older stuff, I can kind of see where there's like lull moments where it's just like, I'm just looking around for items or whatever in video games, or just shopping or whatever, farming, anything where it's just like, a bunch of downtime. Cutting all that unnecessary stuff out and just leaving in just the moments that are important to the story of the game. That has been the hardest thing. I'm still having a hard time kind of figuring out where that perfect little area between keeping the story of the game and what's happening and cutting out the unnecessary parts are. And I'm still playing around with that. I might never figure it out. Who knows? How do you handle burnout or creative blocks when it comes to generating new content ideas? I don't. I've got so many games that I want to play on the channel that I don't even know how to fit them into my schedule. Like, it's going to take me years to get through the list of games that I want to play. Like, there's a bunch of games that I want to play right now that I just don't have time to do because I can only put up 2 or 3 videos a week. So, don't really have that problem. How do you leverage social media platforms to promote your YouTube channel and reach a wider audience? I actually don't do that. Like, recording this stuff and putting it up on YouTube, like the editing and all of that stuff takes up so much of my time. I don't have time to go advertise on Facebook or Twitter or X or whatever. What's on YouTube is what I have, and that's it. I don't do any extra advertisement because it's not really, I'm not in it to make a huge channel or whatever. Just want to entertain people that stumble across me, I guess. Maybe in the future I'll do it, but as of right now, not super interested in, I guess, blowing up the channel. How do you plan to monetize your YouTube channel in the future? Probably going to be through, the ads thing that YouTube does, because I wouldn't say I'd want to advertise any particular product, because I'm one of those people where if I'm going to talk about a product to anyone, it's because I have used it, experienced it, and had good feedback on it. Like, there's a lot of times where some of my favorite YouTubers will advertise something that's not always a great thing. I don't blame them for it, but I just don't want to I'm not really in it to, I guess, do advertising for something like that. It just, I don't know. It's just not really my thing. I would just go with the ads, revenue, and then that'd probably be about it. All right. So questions about the first video. What inspired you to make your first YouTube video? Well, I wanted to do a playthrough of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past with a mod that I found that makes it where you get hit one time by any enemy or projectile, you die. And I played through it. It was super fun. I told my friends about it, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'd like to see that." Well, you can't exactly go over to your friend's house and play a game in front of them for 10 hours. So I was like, well, I could record it and put it up on the YouTube channel because I kind of wanted to start one anyways. So that's where I got the idea for that. The original recordings of me doing the playthrough actually got scrapped only because I hit a major glitch halfway through the game because of the mod that I couldn't fix. And actually had to re-record the whole series again and ran into the same glitch in the final episode. If you ever watched that, that's the reason why I had to do the kind of heart count thing on it, because what was happening was instead of the one hit by anything causing instant death, it was giving me infinite life. I don't know why. I didn't have any way to fix it. We just had to run with it and count the amount of times I got hit. Anyways, that's what inspired me to get started, was really just sharing things with my friends and with anybody who cared about watching it, and just wanted to see some crazy stuff and just have fun playing a game. How did you choose the topic for your first video? Well, I mean, that one video with the one-hit death thing was just kind of what I wanted to do mostly, so that's kind of how it started. What was the most challenging part of creating your first video? The setup. At the time, I only had some really shoddy recording equipment and microphone and stuff, and getting everything to sound good and look good and everything was a real challenge. My capture device I had at the time would cut out randomly if I ran for over 30 minutes, so I had to be real keen on watching the time to make sure I didn't run over 30 minutes, because the thing might cut off in the middle of my recording. So yeah, that's probably the most challenging part of the first videos. Did you have any doubts or hesitations before filming your first video? Yes, all of those things. I didn't know if it was going to sound good. I didn't know if I was talking enough. I didn't know if I was talking too little, too much. What I needed to talk about. Did I need to talk about my strategy? Did I need to talk about what was going through my mind? What I needed to do, if the thing was going to cut off in the middle of me recording, all kinds of things. It was just a lot. And now that I've got everything kind of down to a science, it's not so bad, but it's still one of those things where, I have to make sure that certain things are running correctly. I still have issues. I had a video I did the other day where the video just cut off 20 minutes into me recording, and now I'm going to have to go through and fix that as much as possible because it's one of the longer running games that I'm playing, and I don't want people who are watching to lose track of the story. That's one of the things I ran into right off the bat, was making sure everything was going to work correctly. How did you promote your first video and attract viewers? Well, I just told my friends about it. I have a bunch of friends who are gamers, stuff like that, and I was like, hey, I'm starting a new YouTube channel. Check it out. And that's kind of how it started. What lessons did you learn from making your first video? I wouldn't be able to list the amount of things I learned. So many things about talking through what I'm doing, the correct setup to have to make everything record good, how far away you need to have the mic from your face, all kinds of things. There's just so much that's going on when you're first starting up that you have to take into account. It's ridiculous. So a lot of things. How did you feel when you uploaded your first video? Really kind of anxious because I put it up and I don't think anybody commented on my first video. And it was kind of frustrating because I needed that feedback of, well, is it good? Is it bad? What I need to work on? Because most of the people who were subscribed to me at the time were my friends, and I just kind of needed to know feedback on what I needed to do to improve the quality of the video. Like, do I need to talk more, talk less, blah, blah, blah. All these different things, but I had no feedback. So, pretty anxious about it, and a little upset that I didn't have more feedback on how to improve what I needed to improve. Did you receive any unexpected reactions or comments on your first video? No, nothing. Didn't get any comments or anything on my first video. What advice would you give to someone about to make their first YouTube video? Practice your setups. Like, let me just give you through a rundown of how I have to set up things. So, because I record my voice audio and my video with its audio on separate programs so that I can overlap them together on the editing software, you have to have some way to time those two things together, because just because you start your recording for your voice and you're recording for the video at the same time doesn't mean that when you put them on the editing software, it's going to start at the same time. So I have to do an audio visual cue before I start a video, just so that I can kind of know where that overlap is going to be. And usually I'll do that by like finding a menu, and as I'm moving the selection up and down, I'm saying like up, 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 down, 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 so on and so forth, to kind of cue in that audio video so that I know where to overlap it in the editing software. Down, 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 up, 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 down, down, up, up, down, up. Little things like that. Just do you a bunch of test runs first before you start doing your official video, because there's a lot to learn. How did making your first video shape your future as a YouTuber? I mean, I enjoyed it, so I guess it's enjoyable for me to do as a hobby. So it was nice to be able to get it out there and kind of see what would happen. But I don't really know how it really shaped my future. It is what it is. I do this as a hobby because I enjoy it, and I'm going to continue doing it. What equipment did you use to film your first video? Oh God. So I used, when I did my first video, I was recording off of the Retron 5 HD console. That's where I got the mod downloaded for the One Hit Death, and I was using my laptop to record. I had Audacity recording the voice with a Blue Snowball microphone. I had a video capture device, I think it was called the Hopog? I can't pronounce it. 2? That's the thing that cut out on me all the time. And I've since replaced it. But yeah, it was just a few things that I had at the time. I don't have the video for that anymore. If you want to see kind of what that setup looked like as far as the video quality and stuff, if you look at my Poor Man run for Super Mario Bros. 3, that I was still using in the earlier videos that same setup for those. Did you script or plan your first video, or did you improvise? Well, I had planned out what I was going to play, but like as far as what I talked about and what I did, I just tried to talk about what my strategy was throughout the game. There was a little bit of planned, but like is mostly improvised what happened during the game. How did you overcome any technical challenges while filming or editing your first video? Just trial and error. tried different things, tried different settings. I did a lot of trial runs before I even did the video just to see how things would look and sound and things of that nature. Trial and error. That's a lot. I have a lot of videos up on the channel still that are still kind of choppy, but I wanted to include them with the story of the rest of the episodes, so that's the reason why some of them here or there you'll find to be a little bit different. An example being like Kill It With Fire. I think it's like the 3rd episode. I was trying out a new microphone for the headset and it sounded awful. But I didn't want to cut out that part of the game because the game was super fun. So it sounds a little bit choppier, but you know, it's there. What editing software did you use for your first video? Well, I used Pinnacle. I've always used Pinnacle. It's pretty straightforward. There's a couple of little glitches here and there that you kind of figure out how to work around, but otherwise it's pretty straightforward and fairly easy to use. So I highly recommend it. Did you have any funny or memorable moments while making your first video? I'm sure me dying 1,000 times sometimes was humorous because it's rough. It's rough to play through with the one-hit death mod on. But as far as what I can't even remember half of what happened. I know the first little gauntlet that you run through when you go underneath the castle to the sanctuary is rough because you don't have any fairies with you and everything's dark and there's enemies everywhere. So it's probably pretty comical trying to make it through there and just turn a corner and then a rat runs into you and you die. But there's nothing specific that I remember from the first video. How did you feel when you saw your first subscriber or positive comment? Felt great. I mean, it's just like anything else. People enjoy your content. That's the whole point of you putting content up there, is that you want people to enjoy it. So yeah, anytime you get anything like that, whether it's the first one or the last one, it's great. You feel like it's not just worthless. You're not just doing it. No one really cares. What goals did you set yourself after uploading your first video? To finish everything. If I start a game as a long series, I want to finish it. Unless it's a game that I played and I just really didn't care for, I would stop then. But other than that, I would always try to go all the way through with a game because I hate watching people play a game and just stop and never finish it. Can't stand that. There's a few videos where I've done that, but the videos that I put up were kind of popular, but not popular enough to really continue the series, I guess, or they weren't at the time that I started it. I usually try to finish it. There's a few games I actually want to go back and play all the way through, like Cult of the Lamb. I did a few episodes on, but no one was really watching it at the time. And then it got a little more popular afterwards, and I was like, I really wish I would have played through it all the way, but I ended up playing through it on my own time. So I kind of want to go back and just play through the whole story on that eventually, but maybe sometime in the future. How did you handle any negative comments or criticism on your first video? Well, I didn't have any. So what bothered me with that was I didn't have anything to go off of going forward. I didn't know if I needed to improve certain things, where to improve certain things, or anything, because there was no feedback whatsoever. Did your first video meet your expectations in terms of views and engagement? I mean, people watched it. I don't even know. I don't know what the count is on the original first video, because I've taken that down because, I had that crash that I hit with the glitch. But the next one I did on the Zelda playthrough, they had some views and one like. I mean, it was as good as I thought it was going to get for, starting out. It didn't hit over 100 views, but I mean, if those people who watched it enjoyed it, that's all that really matters to me. Next question. What do you wish you knew before creating and uploading your first video? A lot of stuff. A lot of things. How to have everything set up. I guess as far as during the recording, when to be explaining things, when to just, whenever I'm farming or whatever, when to like just kind of save conversations and stuff for when things are actually happening. Just little nitpicky things here and there. I wish I would have known about how to do better audio setups, how to do better video capture, a lot of things. There's a lot of things I wish I would have known, but it's just all part of the process. All right, now we're going on to favorites and preferences questions. Are you a dog or a cat person? I am a cat person. I have 2 cats. They are adorable and have a ton of personality, whether you count that as a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, I love cats. They're awesome. They're their own little worlds, and it's very interesting, and they keep me entertained. Are you a fan of action-packed movies or romantic comedies? Well, both, actually. If a movie's good, then I'll watch it. It doesn't matter if it's got action in it. It doesn't matter if it's got something sad in it or whatever. I like both, as long as it's a good movie. Are you a fan of hiking or swimming? Well, as of right now, I don't know how to swim. So I do like hanging out in pools and stuff like that, but hiking is probably going to be my go-to because I can do that without having any issue. Are you a fan of museums or amusement parks? It really depends on the place. Like, there's some amusement parks I've been to that suck, real boring, nothing really to do. And there's also museums I've been to that I wasn't really interested in. But if it's a museum with something that I'm very interested in, or an amusement park with some really fun rides, I'm all about it. Are you a fan of online shopping or in-person shopping? It depends on what I'm buying. For the most part, online shopping is great for getting things because there's so many unique things that I like to get that most stores, at least around where I live, don't carry those types of things. But when it comes to like groceries, for example, I like to get it in person. I like to look at my fruit, my vegetables, and my meats, and things like that. You know, whenever I'm buying certain products that have expiration dates on them, I like to check what those are. I'll buy certain things dependent on the date because there's a certain amount of time I need for it to last or whatever. So it just depends on what it is that I'm buying. Are you a fan of reality TV shows? Some of them I am. It just depends on what the reality TV show is about. If it's about just a bunch of drama, stuff like that, I don't really care. But if it's something interesting or something that piques my interest, then yeah, I could watch it. Are you a fan of spicy food? Absolutely. As long as it's not so spicy that you can't taste anything. I can't stand like going to these like hot wing places and the sauce they put on the wings is so ungodly hot that you can't taste anything. It's just burning. I want a good flavor with my spice. Are you a morning or evening exerciser? Well, I really don't exercise as much as I should. And if I were to exercise, it would definitely be in the evening. Because in the morning time, I do good to get up and get my coffee in me and all that good stuff. Usually takes a pretty good amount of the day for me to be like, yeah, I need to go work out. So definitely evening exerciser. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Well, it depends on where I work. Where I work currently, that I've worked for the last couple of years, I work first shift. And so right now I'm a morning person. But the job before that, I worked second or third shift for about 10 years. And I was a night owl then. Preferably, I like being a night owl just because I feel like there's more that you can get done during the daytime and then work at night. I prefer the peaceful times of the night rather than the busy times of the day, I guess is the best way to put it. Are you a morning shower or evening shower person? Depends on the situation. If I'm going to not be doing anything where I'm going to be sweating to death, morning shower is great. Helps you wake up, all that good stuff. But if I'm going to be like working outside, mowing the yard or something of that nature, evening shower after you get done, with your chores. Are you more of an introvert or extrovert? It depends. I like people. I like people a lot. But usually I limit that to people I work with or people that I associate with a lot. For the most part, I'm just like, hey, how are you doing? And that's really about it. Otherwise, I don't really go out of my way to talk to people unless it's, like I said, people that I work with or friends, family, or whatever. So I don't know really where that lands me on that spectrum. So there you go. Do you prefer action-packed video games or puzzle games? If I had to pick between the two, I'd say puzzle-based. Action's fine and all, but I like a good strategy puzzle style game. Gets my brain working. I don't like some of these games where it's like, if you don't press this button at this certain time, the whole game is over. Sometimes that gets real frustrating. I prefer games that kind of require a little more thought process than how fast you are at pressing a button. Do you prefer beach vacations or city explorations? Well, I like the beach, and it would depend on what city you're talking about. There's some cities that I have no interest in going to at all. I would probably say beach exploration, because there's not very many beaches that I wouldn't be interested in going to, unless it was a nude beach, and I would not be interested in going there at all. So we're going to go with beaches on that one. Do you prefer coffee or tea? I prefer coffee. I like tea. It's not very good for me, though, which I don't know how good coffee is for me, but I'm drinking coffee right now, just so you know. Do you prefer fiction or nonfiction movies? It's back to the thing of what is a good movie. If it's a good movie, I don't care if it's fiction or not. They're both good. And I'm not sure how many movies are actually nonfiction, because you see a nonfiction movie and there's a lot of dramatization going on there. So I kind of feel like there isn't a nonfiction movie. So take that however you want to. As long as it's a good movie, I'll watch it. Do you prefer indoor or outdoor activities? I like playing video games, that's indoor, but I also like going outside and getting some oxygen every now and then. So a good balance of both. Do you prefer reading books or watching movies? Either or. I like watching movies, but I like reading interesting books about different things, whether it's a story or if it's something about science or religion or whatever. Either or is good with me, as long as it's something, I guess, if it's something, if it interests me. It just depends on what it is, really. Do you prefer reading fiction or nonfiction books? Same thing with the movies. If it's a good book, it's a good book. Now, normally when I read books, I do like reading educational books, whether it's beyond science or history or religion or whatever. I like just having more knowledge about things around the world. But outside of that, fiction books, their stories and stuff like that are great. It's just like watching a movie. You're just, enjoying it in a different way. Do you prefer summer or winter activities? Winter activities. Summer to me is just way too hot. I'm a hot-natured person. I feel like I'm on fire all the time, so anytime it's cold is fantastic for me. Do you prefer summer or winter fashion? I'm one of those people who I like to keep myself clothed as much as possible, which may attribute to the reason why I'm so hot all the time. But yeah, winter fashion for sure. Do you prefer sweet or savory snacks? Probably savory. I'm not big on sweets. I like them every now and then, but they're not good for me. So usually if I have a snack, it's something, I guess, savory. Do you prefer texting or talking on the phone? It depends on what it is. If it's just a quick annotation about hey, don't forget to pick this up at the grocery store, text message. If it's something where we have to like insinuate a certain amount of information, that's much easier done with your voice, then yeah, phone call. It just really depends on what kind of information you're trying to convey. Do you prefer to cook at home or dine out? Well, I like dining out occasionally, but it's really expensive now and usually not healthy for you. Cooking at home is fantastic. I actually really enjoy cooking and prefer that when I have the time to do so. Do you prefer watching TV shows or movies? Well, I don't have a lot of time to sit down and watch a movie, so TV shows is probably the better preference for me. What is your favorite app on your phone? My favorite app on my phone? There's not really a favorite app that I have. The one that I probably use the most is my calculator on my phone for me to calculate bills and how much I'm spending at the grocery store and such. So I guess if I had a favorite app, it would be the calculator app, as sad as that might sound. What is your favorite board game or card game? Well, not currently, but I've been big into Magic the Gathering a lot. And as far as a go-to game, I love playing it with my friends and whatnot. It's just there's not as many gatherings at gaming stores and stuff like that for modern Magic the Gathering, which is what I play the most of. Probably be Magic the Gathering would be my top game that I play. What is your favorite childhood memory? I don't know. I don't really ever think about things like that, I guess. It would probably be whenever I got some type of video game like Mega Man or Super Mario Brothers 3 or the Super Nintendo. Things of that nature where I was just like so excited, just explode with excitement. What is your favorite color? That's a really hard one because when I was a kid, my favorite color was blue. I still am partial to blue, but now that I've gotten older, I'm more partial to green. So take it as you want to on that one. What is your favorite hobby or pastime? Probably my favorite hobby that I ever had was, or still have, is playing video games. But other than that, I kind of like working with wood to make different projects and things of that nature. That's pretty fun. I haven't done it in a long time. I really need to go out to my shop and work on some stuff, but it is what it is. What is your favorite holiday of the year? My favorite holiday of the year is probably Christmas. Halloween's right up there because, you get to dress up and whatnot, but I don't get to do that as much as an adult anymore. So Christmas is probably my favorite because not necessarily for receiving gifts, but it's all about giving the kiddos, like nieces and nephews and stuff like that, giving them stuff and just seeing them be real excited and happy. That's what Christmas is about, is making the kiddos happy. What is your favorite ice cream flavor? I am a mint chocolate chip person. You either are for it or you're not for it, and I'm definitely for it. What is your favorite movie of all time? District 9. I love that movie. I went and saw it in theaters, not knowing what it was, and it blew my mind. It was just a really, really good movie. It's one of those movies where you either love it or you hate it, and I loved it. What is your favorite season of the year? Fall. It's cooler. It's not super hot. It's not super cold. You don't have all the flowers and stuff coming up, destroying my sinuses and allergies. It's just a good time. What is your favorite social media platform? YouTube. I watch YouTube all the time. Like I don't do Facebook or any of that other stuff. Really, that's the only thing I ever really work with is YouTube, is just watching stuff on there. What is your favorite sport to watch or play? Well, I'm not really a sports person, so I really don't have a Favorite one when I was a kid, my favorite sport to play was soccer, though. What is your favorite travel destination? Anywhere that is away from a lot of people. If it's out in the middle of nowhere, I'm all for it. What is your favorite type of art or artistic expression? Music, I guess. People convey a lot of things in music, and I'd say that would have to be it for me. What is your favorite type of cuisine? Anything and everything Mexican. Love Mexican food. It's delicious. Even if it's Tex-Mex, I love it. What is your favorite type of dance or dance style? I don't dance. The only thing I've ever done dancing wise is Dance Dance Revolution. So I guess that, if you consider that a dance style. What is your favorite dessert? Ice cream. And that's probably my favorite. Even if it's not mint chocolate chip, I love ice cream in small doses. What is your favorite type of exercise or physical activity? Nothing. I don't like doing any kind of physical activity or exercise. But if I was gonna say anything, I really enjoy biking as long as it's why can't I talk? As long as it's in a safe area, because bicycling up and down the road nowadays is just super dangerous. What is your favorite flower? The kind that doesn't give me allergy issues, so I don't know. What is your favorite music to listen to? I am a big techno fan. Believe it or not, anything techno, even if it's just game soundtracks that have kind of like a techno edge to them or whatever. Always been into that kind of music. What is your favorite vehicle? I guess if I was to go with anything, I used to have a Nissan Xterra, and it was amazing because if I needed to carry anything, I could strap it to the top, throw it in the back. You could also carry up to like 5 people comfortably in the vehicle. Just had a lot of utility to it. You could pull trailers with it, whatever. It's good vehicle. What is your favorite weather? Like, honestly, for me, I like snow. It's just really pretty. I like the way it makes everything look. It means I don't have to go to work most of the time. And yeah, snow is great. What is your go-to comfort food? Probably my go-to comfort food would be ramen. Love ramen. Beef ramen, add a little bit of soy sauce in there. Chicken ramen, add a little bit of teriyaki sauce in there. Good to go. Which genre of music do you enjoy the most? I guess it would be techno. It's just one of those things that I like, especially if it's got a good mood to it. Absolutely love techno. Who is your favorite actor or actress? I really don't have one. Like, they're all good, like, to some extent. Some of them better than others in different areas. So I really can't say that I have a favorite one. Who is your favorite author? I don't have a clue. I am horrible at remembering names, so even if I had a favorite book series that I like to read or something like that, I couldn't even tell you who wrote it because I don't remember names very well. All right, now we're on the hypotheticals. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? The power to control time. Like be able to slow down time around you so you move quickly, travel back and forth through time so you can alter things to give yourself a better outcome. Yeah, I'd probably go crazy with power if I did that though. If you could live in any fictional world, which one would you choose? So here's the thing about fictional worlds. Most of them have something horrible going on, that some type of evil that's happening that you're usually fighting against. But if there was a world that I could choose to be in, just to live in for whatever extended period of time, it would probably be Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls world in general. Even though there's a lot of controversy going on in that world, it just seems like that time era magic and things and whatnot going on there would be a very interesting place to live. If you could time travel, would you go to the past or the future? definitely the past. I don't see anything that I would benefit from really going to the future. Plus, it kind of ruin things if you went and saw what's going to happen in the future. I'd rather go back in the past and witness things that you've only heard of in stories, because anybody who tells a story is only going to tell them the way that they think that it happened. If you have 10 different people witness something, you're going to have 10 different stories. I'd like to witness some things on my own just to see how they actually unfolded. So definitely go to the past. If you could be any celebrity for a day, who would you choose to be? I'm not really big on being popular, so if I had to choose to be anyone, it would be the good old internet historian. He could balance between being popular and being incognito at the same time. Very mysterious guy, very funny guy. If I ever get the chance to do a video collaboration with him, I definitely would enjoy that. If you could only eat one type of food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Burritos. There's so many different things you can put in a burrito that is delicious. Different types of wraps you can use. That's definitely what my go-to would be, because there's so many different things that you could put in there, and it would be amazing for the variety. I wouldn't want something like that you wouldn't be able to have a little variety with to eat for the rest of your life. If you were stranded on a deserted island, what 3 things would you bring? An aircraft to be able to leave the deserted island. No, realistically, if I was going to be on a deserted island, I would have to have some type of multi-tool, like a Leatherman multi-tool. I would want probably a spear, which would be great for hunting, protecting myself, even fishing. And for the 3rd thing, some type of water filtration device, because that's one of the main things you would need is water. So if it's like a island in the middle of the ocean, something that could filter the seawater to where you could actually drink it, if that's possible, or water that you'd find on the island. That'd be the 3 things I'd go for. If you could switch lives with someone for a week, who would it be and why? I'm pretty happy with being myself, so I don't really want to switch my lives with anybody, not even for a week, because then I have to figure out and deal with their problems, and that would just be too much work for me. I've already got my life the way I want it, and for the most part, and I don't want to have to figure out someone else's life. If you could invent a new holiday, what would it be and how would people celebrate it? I think any time that you can spend with your friends and family is great. And one of the best ones you can do with that would be Halloween, because you get to dress up, kind of be goofy and whatnot, and, just have a good time. I think they should have one around the time that kids get out of school, where everyone kind of dresses up and celebrates the end of school. That would be kind of fun. And then you have the other one in October. I wouldn't do a second Christmas, because Christmas can get expensive for some people. I know a lot of people struggle with that, so I wouldn't want to put double Christmas on anybody. But Halloween, you can you can make a costume out of about just about anything. And it's just a good time. If you could teleport anywhere in the world right now, where would you go? All over the place. I'd want to see the pyramids. I'd want to see different mountains from the very top. I'd want to see all the different oceans. I'd want to see all kinds of stuff. Buildings, people, animals, I'd be all over the place. There's not any one place that I'd be like, I want to go there. There's too many places I'd like to see. If you could have a conversation with any historical figure, who would it be and what would you ask them? That's a really tough one, because there's a lot of historical figures that I'd like to see and talk to, but if there was one that I would like to have a conversation with, it'd probably be somebody like Albert Einstein. Like to talk to him, just kind of see what his hobbies were, like what things he liked to do on his time off. Like, did he like to fish? Did he like cooking food? what different things did he enjoy doing in his, time away from making crazy inventions and discovering things? If you could be any animal for a day, which one would you choose and why? A cat. I'd be a lazy cat that lay around, sleep all day, eat when I felt like it, run through the house like a crazy person when I had zoomies, and yeah, that'd be about it. If you could eliminate one thing from existence, what would it be and why? Wasps. I would get rid of wasps. They're just mean little creatures. They'll get mad at you and sting you for no reason. You just be in the area and they'll just come up to you be like, get out of my area, and just sting you for no reason. And they can do it multiple times without dying. So yeah, I know they're a part of the ecosystem somehow, but I think we'd be better off without them. If you could have any job in the world, what would you choose to do? I think there's a lot of things that would be really interesting for me. It would have to be something on the field of science, though, where I just go in, I observe something, like whether it be chemical, biological, whatever, write down a bunch of information about what I discover, and then go home. And that would be super interesting to me, to just observe and document things that you don't normally see like that. It'd be very, very fun. If you could have any fictional creature as a pet, what would you choose? Dragon. A straight up dragon. You could ride it to work. It would make a great guard dog. It could breathe fire on all the wasps in your yard. There might not have much of a yard or a house left, but it'd do a pretty good job of that. If you could be invisible for a day, what would you do? I would prank everyone that I could get around. I'd do all kinds of stuff, move stuff around, just mess with their heads, just all sorts of things. I wouldn't do anything to hurt anybody, but I would definitely do stuff just to mess with people's minds. If you could travel to space, would you do it, even if it meant never returning to Earth? Sure. I mean, being on that frontier of discovering new things and being the first person to explore something new, figure out how it works, how to survive out in space, whether it's on a ship or on another planet, that'd be fun. It'd be interesting. And I think I would enjoy that, even if I didn't have to come back to Earth. I mean, who cares? You've got plenty of other things to do in these other places. If you could speak fluently in any language, which one would you choose? The one that allows me to watch these animes without having to use subtitles or sometimes horrible dubbed. If you could meet your future self, what would you ask them? Honestly, I probably wouldn't ask them anything, because I wouldn't want to change anything that could make my life worse. But if I was going to ask them anything, it would be, is there anything that I should do differently with my life? Like, something I should have cut back on eating or exercised more or whatever. That would be the only thing I'd really ask them. If you could be a character from a book or a movie, who would you choose to be? I really don't know. It's kind of a tough one. It would definitely be something that you wouldn't be able to do under normal circumstances. Like be Merlin from The Sword and the Stone. Just a wizard. And be able to do these crazy things. Yeah, it would definitely be something like that in a world where things are not norm to here. If you could change one thing about the world, what would it be and why? Everybody actually care about each other instead of being selfish. Like, that is the biggest problem with the world right now, is that people just don't care about each other anymore. They only care about themselves, their agenda, and that's it. And if we all just cared a little bit about each other, it'd make the world a whole much better place. All right, we got the rapid fire round, and then we're out of here. So, first question, cats or dogs? Definitely cats. Second question, coffee or tea? Coffee. 3, beach or mountains? Mountains. 4, sweet or savory? Savory. 5. Early bird or night owl? Night owl. 6. Summer or winter? Winter. 7. Pizza or burgers? Pizza. 8. Books or movies? Books. 9. Texting or calling? Calling. 10. Instagram or Snapchat? Don't have either one. 11. Comedy or action movies? Comedy. 12. Pancakes or waffles? Pancakes. 13. Morning or evening workouts? Evening. 14. Netflix or YouTube? YouTube. 15. Fiction or nonfiction? Nonfiction. Singing or number 16. Singing or dancing? Singing. 17. City life or countryside? Definitely countryside. 18. Ice cream or cake? Ice cream. 19. Facebook or Twitter? Don't use either one. 20. Comedy or drama series? Comedy. 21. Sunrise or sunset? Sunset. 22. Chocolate or vanilla? Vanilla. 23. Action or adventure? Adventure. 24. Pen or pencil? Pen. 25. Facebook or Instagram? Neither one. 26. Morning person or night person? Night person. 27. Movies at home or movies at the theater? Movies at the theater. 28. Phone call or text message? Did I just answer this one earlier? Yes, that was number 9. The phone call. 29. Reading books or listening to audiobooks? Reading books. 30. Winter sports or water sports? Winter sports. 31. Camping or hotel? Camping. 32. Marvel or DC? Probably Marvel. 33. Pop music or rock music? Rock. 34. Comedy or thriller? Comedy. 35. Early riser or night owl? Why does it ask me the same questions? That's the same thing it asked me back on, I don't even know, number 5. Night owl. Road trip or plane ride? Road trip. Mac or PC? PC. Online or in-store shopping? Online. Salty or sweet snacks? Salty. Comedy club or live concert? Comedy club. Action-packed or relaxing vacations? Action-packed. Movie night or game night? Game night. Sun or rain? Rain. Oh, why are these so many of these repeating the same thing? Comedy or romance? Comedy. Dancing in the rain or walking on a sunny beach? Dancing in the rain. Coffee shop or bookstore? Definitely a bookstore. All right. I think that's enough for today. We'll do more questions on our next anniversary episode. Leave comments in the comment section below for this video, and we'll rack them all up for next year, or I might just go ahead and answer them in the comment section now. Actually, I'll just answer them as you comment them now, because that would make more sense than waiting a whole year. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.